How drones changed modern warfare. For over a century, the rules of land warfare were fairly straightforward. If you had the biggest tanks, the heaviest artillery, and absolute control of the skies with multi-million-dollar fighter jets, you won. But today, a $400 piece of plastic, built in a basement using 3D printed parts and a consumer-grade battery, can completely neutralize a multi-million-dollar armored vehicle. We aren't talking about the massive, state-sponsored Predator or Reaper drones of the global war on terror. We are talking about the rapid, terrifying democratization of the sky. From Eastern Europe to the Middle East, the battlefield has become a hyper-lethal, 24/7 surveillance laboratory. Warfare has changed. It is cheaper, faster, more transparent, and arguably more terrifying than ever before. This is how drones rewrote the rules of modern combat. The end of hiding, the transparent battlefield. The first major change drones brought to modern conflict isn't actually how they kill. It's how they see. Historically, military commanders suffered from what Clausewitz called the fog of war, the chaotic lack of real-time info on enemy positions. To find the enemy, you had to risk live sending scouts forward or wait for satellite imagery that could be hours out of date. Not anymore. Today, the battlefield is completely transparent. With thousands of micro-reconnaissance drones constantly buzzing over the front lines, hiding has become nearly impossible. If a unit moves in daylight, a drone sees them. If a tank starts its engine, its thermal signature is broadcast instantly to an artillery commander miles away. This has compressed what militaries call the kill chain, the time it takes to identify a target, track it, and destroy it. What used to take hours or days now takes minutes. Tanks and infantry are forced to move exclusively at night or under heavy electronic cover just to survive. The age of massive, sweeping armored breakthroughs is dead. The drone has made traditional military maneuver incredibly costly. The rise of the $400 Kamikaze. But seeing the enemy was just step one. The real paradigm shift happened when soldiers began strapping explosives to these cheap quadcopters, creating FPV Kamikaze drones. Think about the economics of traditional warfare. A modern anti-tank missile system, like a Javelin, costs around $170,000 per shot. It requires specialized training and clear line of sight. An FPV drone costs about $400. Because these drones are steered via virtual reality goggles, an operator sitting safely inside a bunker or basement can fly a drone over hills, around trees, and straight down into the open hatch of an armored vehicle. The cost asymmetry. In modern conflicts, these hobbyist toys routinely hunt down and destroy main battle tanks worth up to $10 million. This incredible cost asymmetry means smaller nations, and even non-state militant groups, can suddenly field precision-guided air forces without needing billions of dollars in defense infrastructure. It has democratized precision destruction. The electronic invisible war. Of course, when a weapon becomes this dominant, the enemy adapts. And that has sparked a massive, invisible war raging across the electromagnetic spectrum, electronic warfare, EW. Most drones rely on radio frequencies to talk to their pilots and GPS signals to navigate. If you can flood the area with static, known as jamming, the drone loses its connection and crashes. But the tech is evolving at a breakneck pace. To bypass radio jamming, forces have begun deploying fiber optic drones. These drones trail a super-thin spool of glass fiber cable up to 20 kilometers behind them as they fly. Because the signal travels physically through a wire rather than through the air, they are 100% immune to electronic jamming. Artificial intelligence and the swarm. But fiber optic cables have physical limits. The true, terrifying endgame of drone warfare is already arriving: artificial intelligence and full autonomy. When an FPV drone gets close to the ground, trees and buildings naturally block the radio signal. To fix this, developers are building AI chips directly into the drone itself. With edge AI processing, a pilot only needs to fly the drone to a general area. Once the drone spots a target, the human can disconnect. The onboard AI takes over, visually tracking the target and completing the strike entirely on its own, even if heavy electronic jamming is present. When you combine autonomous AI tracking with mass production, you get drone swarms, coordinated fleets of dozens or hundreds of autonomous machines communicating with each other, overwhelming air defenses by sheer numbers. The decision to take a human life is rapidly being shifted from a soldier behind a joystick to an algorithm running on a circuit board. Conclusion: the ground rules still apply. So, does this mean traditional armies, tanks, and infantry are entirely obsolete? Not quite. Military historians point out that while drones have fundamentally broken the ability to move easily in the open, they cannot do the one thing that decides a war: they cannot hold ground. A drone can destroy a bunker, but it cannot occupy it. It cannot secure a town, and it cannot look a population in the eye. The drone hasn't replaced the soldier, it has just made the modern battlefield infinitely more hostile. Just as the invention of the machine gun forced armies to dig trenches in World War I, and the tank broke those trenches open in World War II, the drone is simply the latest problem that modern militaries have to solve. The sky is watching, the cost of war has dropped, and the rules have changed forever. Thanks for watching. If you want to dive deeper into the future of technology and geopolitics, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below on what you think the ultimate counter-drone weapon will be, and we'll see you in the next video.
Subscribe.